Hey there, I am Sherry Samuels, the voice coach, showing you how to reconnect to your authentic voice by reframing your thinking, rebuilding inner trust, and rediscovering your innate curiosity. Why is it important to have that connection to your authentic voice? Well, it's because it's that connection that helps ensure that we are creating and living our best life. So let's talk about it. To know me is to know that at any point in time, you may find me striking up a conversation with a stranger about, anything. I believe it's part of my charm. And last week, while on vacation, one might say I was especially charming. So I landed in conversations with people who kicked stereotypes and expectations in the butt to chase their dreams. I talked to people who set their sights on a goal and trusted that even though things weren't exactly as expected initially, everything would work out in the end. I talked to people who were determined to find and share joy in spite of what others may think. I walked away from each exchange feeling inspired and motivated. I walked away with bigger goals, excited to see how things would come to fruition. One chat in particular stood out. It was with Roger. He moved to the States from France in the early 80s. He didn't know exactly what he wanted to do, but his lifelong fascination with the States made him sure that this was where he wanted to be. Over the years, he had been a dishwasher, painter, cook, gardener, and restaurant owner. He shared his belief in the gift of personal reinvention and talked about the ways he had to shift his mindset in order to make his dreams happen in this country. In spite of challenges and disappointments, he chose to find his way through, to keep going, to not give up on himself or his dreams. I listened, feeling that his journey was less about the end goal and more about focusing on the now, learning what he could along the way, trusting that he was made for something bigger, something greater. And that is exactly what happened. For almost 30 years, Roger has been the owner of a wildly popular gift/souvenir shop on Martha's Vineyard. While there were surely some uncomfortable moments, he reinvented himself again and again until he was standing fully in his dream. He was not deterred by the expectations of family and friends back home. He was focused on following his destiny, no matter the twists and turns he encountered along the way. Now here's where it gets tricky, and I'm including myself in this. The idea of following that twisty-turny path can be frightening. We want to know what is lurking behind every corner before we can make that next move. But guess what? If we knew what was behind every corner before we moved, we might not make all of the moves, right? In order to step fully into our best life, we have to be willing to do things that may feel crazy to others and ourselves. We have to be willing to embrace the discomfort. We have to be willing to accept disappointment with an understanding that tomorrow is a new day, and that means an opportunity to reinvent ourselves a little more. Now, I want you to keep in mind that reinvention looks different for us all, from one day to the next. We have to remember that it's not about following a specific path or plan as outlined by someone else. Reinvention is about getting to know yourself, owning the ins and outs that define your big, beautiful soul, and then allowing the divine to guide each step you take. Our growth, healing, and purpose are not tied to having all of the answers or seeing everything perfectly laid out before our eyes. Our growth, healing, and purpose are tied to our willingness to get curious about what reinvention looks like today. If at first you don't succeed, try again, because you can always decide to reinvent yourself on the journey to making your dreams come true. Now, if you need help in that reinvention or rediscovery process, message me. Email me at sherry@sherrysamuels.com to set up a complimentary consultation. I am Sherry Samuels, the voice coach, and this was your thought for the week. Oh, P.S. Don't forget to like the video and then subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again next week.